بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Thank you for joining us. Today's topic, political Islam, or Islam in the hands of politicians. Politics, which means to organize people with justice, with fairness and equity, and to plan the affairs of people, to envision the future of the people and put programs and practices in motion that helps the lives of everyone and helps them to live with each other and stay with each other in peace. This is politics, and this is the reason that the prophets came. Islam is all about such politics, to organize people and to build justice and peace and relationship amongst people and help them to live with each other. Prophets came for this reason. Allah says, لِيَقُومَ النَّاسَ بِالْقِسْطِ, that they are here to establish the people with justice, to establish justice amongst the people. What does that mean? It means politics. It means to involve themselves in leadership and trying to create an environment where people can live with each other. So these are something that Islam wanted us to do and encourages us to get involved in. But that's not what we are talking about. What we want to talk about is how Islam and how faith and religion can be used or abused by politicians. Politicians that are sleazy, sneaky, clever, and in their wickedness, deviousness, use politics, use religion, and use faith to misguide people and to become leaders and to rule over people, to dominate over them, or to sway them into the wrong direction. Faith is a powerful thing anywhere, and it could be used and abused by people who would take advantage of others who have faith. And Allah gives us examples, and He shows us how such people and such politicians and con artists and scam artists can make religion a tool by which they misguide people. We want to see some of these examples and learn how to make sure that we can identify those people who are trying to take advantage of us or to misguide people or to do wrong things. Allah wanted us to know these things. That's why He gives these examples in the Quran and teaches us through these examples. So let's go right into it. How religion becomes a tool in the hands of politicians, con artists, and scammers. This is the topic, and we want to see the examples that Allah gives and to learn from those examples. One example that Allah gives in the Quran, in Surah Ali Imran, ayat number 72, this verse is mentioned. It is regarding a group of Jews. One of the Jewish leaders in Medina, he was a smart guy, a clever guy, and he saw that a lot of people are inclined towards Islam. Now, obviously, in Medina, Islam is apparent and established, and people are becoming Muslim because they see that the society is so in peace and harmony with each other. People are falling in love with Islam in Medina. And the Jews who are there, a lot of them are becoming Muslims. Jews are accepting Islam. And this leader of the Jews sees this and makes a plan to divert this movement, to obstruct it, and to create a diversion. So how did they do that? What they did is that they made a plan, which in the morning they said that a group of us is going to go and they're going to declare Islam, that we became Muslim. And everyone will be like excited that a group of Jews became Muslim, and so it's an exciting thing. And other Jews will look at it also. Wow, Jews became Muslim, a big group of them. So they said, let's go there, we'll become Muslim, and at night we will denounce Islam and say that no, it wasn't for us, it wasn't that good, and we will come out of it. So what that will happen is that, one, the Jews who are thinking about converting to Islam would rethink their position, and they would be like, wait a minute, these people went there and they saw that it's not that great, so it means it's not that great. So they will not convert to Islam. And Muslims who have just recently converted to Islam, they would also start doubting, well, if Islam is so good, then why did these people leave? Because that will demoralize people who are Muslims. So this was their plan. And they came in. And Allah speaks about this plan in this ayat. He says, وَقَالَتْ طَائِفَةٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ آمِنُوا بِالَّذِي أُنزِلَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَجْهَ النَّهَارِ. He said that a group of Ahlul Kitab, they said that they are going to believe in what believers believe in, meaning that they are converting to Islam and they are becoming Muslims. And when wajh an-nahar, in the morning, at the beginning of the day, and then wakfuru akhirahu, and then they reject the faith at the end of the day. So what that will do is that it will create a notion that Islam is not so good. You see the plot? That's how they were planning. The deviousness of the plan is immaculate. Look at these people. They are trying to create a mood, an idea amongst others that Islam is not a great thing, that people is just a fad. And we went there, we tried it, and we came back, so it's not that great. This is actually a plot that they did, and Allah speaks about it. And hence, you see that how people use politics and politicians use tricks to misguide people. And Allah gives this example in the Quran so that we learn from this example that there are people who are planning and plotting these sort of tricks and these sort of diversions and these side things to distract us and to distract people or to create diversions in the minds of people. So that was an example that's in the Quran. Let's go to another example about Samiri. Now Samiri is a very interesting guy. He was the politician. He was a politician, a sleazebag politician, opportunist. He was rich, influential, always looking for the opportunity to put himself forward. He was a narcissist who always thought that he is always right and he always thinks about himself. You might know who I'm talking about, but this is Samiri we are talking about. Samiri in the time of Prophet Musa. Now, when you look at Prophet Musa and Samiri's, what he did is that after Musa brought the people here, and Musa was invited by Allah to go to the mountain as a guest of Allah, and he went there. Samiri in this place, when Musa didn't come back in time, used that excuse to tell the people that, listen, we need to worship God. We need to worship God, so let's go ahead and make our own God. Musa is not coming back. Maybe something happened to him, whatever it is, he's not coming back. So let's make another God. So he collected gold from the people and he melted the gold, made it into a cow, and they started worshiping the cow.
And whenever it happened, Allah told Musa that, listen, you better go back, your people are going astray. And Musa obviously is like, what? I mean, I left them and they were Muslims. It's like you leave these people who have seen these great miracles and they are Muslims, they are humble, and they're all obeying you. And all of a sudden, you hear from Allah that these people are having a party back there. They have just gone astray. So Musa is on his way back and he sees that these people truly are misguided. They're worshipping a cow. A cow. So he looks at that. He gets angry with Harun, his brother, who he left there in charge. And then he takes action, burns the cow down, the gold, and throws it in the ocean, in the sea. So after all of that happened, and he comes to Samiri. He says, how did you do that? Really? Musa is astonished. He says, I worked so hard. I did a lot of things to get these people to come towards God, to come towards Allah, and to worship Allah. These people have seen miracles. These people have seen the power of God. They have seen my rod turn into a snake. They have seen the ocean split and a pathway made through it. They have seen all of that. How did you turn them back? What did you do? You see, this is where Allah then gives the idea. So Samiri says this in the Quran, and this is in Surah Taha, ayat number 96. Here, Samiri then says, Qala basurta bima lam yabsuru. It says, I see things that they don't see. I mean, religious people are dumb. It's like easy to fool them, right? I can see things that they don't see. And so what happens? فَقَبَضْتُ قَبْضَةً مِنْ أَثَرِ الرَّسُولِ. He says, I got something from the effects of the messenger, meaning Jibreel here, or whoever it could be. A messenger, he got some effect of that. Atharat means some effect, something from them, the prophet or the messenger. He got something from there, he says, and when I took that, I threw it in there, in that cast. And lo and behold, that's what my soul or my nafs told me to do. I saw that it was so easy to get these people. I took something that's sacred. In other words, I took something that's sacred, mixed it up with something that is devious, and then I gave it to the people. And they fell for it. It was very easy. It wasn't hard. Meaning, after all the work that Musa did to get the people towards Allah, this person comes all of a sudden, he comes there and just with a little trick misguides the people. So what is this that he done? It's very important for us to recognize this sort of tactic that is used by these sleazebags to misguide people. One of the tactics is that they use is they do not always come to you with deviousness or with evil or with wrong. No one will accept that. So they come to you with something sacred, a sacrament, something that you hold sacred, something that's holy. They come to you like that. And then when they come to you like that, then they will add their own 2 cents to it and their own deviousness to give it a twist so that they can manipulate the people and make them do what they want them to do. In this case, worship a cow. And that's what Samiri did. This is exactly how it happens, my friends. This is how you misguide people. There was a person by the name of Hasan al-Basri. Interesting story. Hasan al-Basri, in the time of Imam Ali. Hasan al-Basri used to listen to the speeches of Imam Ali very carefully. And he would write down notes. Every time that Imam Ali spoke, he would be writing notes down. Now that was something strange. Usually people don't listen. And even if they are there listening, they don't pay attention. If you ask them a question about what was being said, they would be like, I wasn't paying attention. I was thinking of something else. Usually that's the case. Everywhere. If nowadays, for example, you go to any majlis, very few people actually pay attention to what's being said. Most people are there just for thawab. This is not new. It used to happen with Imam Ali also. People used to listen to Imam Ali and they would listen to him and like, okay, we're here for thawab, it's like as if we're going to learn something or something like that. And this is Imam Ali we're talking about, who is the door of knowledge. And there you go. If that's how he was treated, he knew that really, who's paying attention? But this person actually paid attention and he would write down notes. So Imam Ali inquired to him. He said, what are you doing? He says, I write down whatever you say, all the important points that you make, I write it down. Interesting points. I enjoy your speeches and I write down the important things that you say. It's very interesting that you say these things. And Imam Ali says, for what? Well, when I want to give, I want to see, what goes along, and I can use this to preach to others, to tell others, to give to others. So, in other words, what he's doing is that he's taking something that Imam Ali said, and then he's adding his own 2 cents to it, putting his own twist in there and his spin in there, and then giving it as his. Or misguiding people. Imam Ali, when he heard this person, told him, you are the summary of this nation. Summary. Yes, you are the summary of this nation, Hasan al-Basri. You take something that is good in truth and then you mix it up with falsehood in order to misguide people. That's exactly how things work. You will see that a lot of people, they do that. They'll take, for example, something that is good, like a hadith and ayat, and then they'll give it a twist of their own. And they'll say it. Or, for example, something that an alim has said, a scholar has said, you'll see a speaker will take that, and then he will put a twist on it, a spin on it, or add his 2 cents into it, and he will give a speech on it. And this is actually misguidance. This is not actual guidance, and this is why it's a problem. Imam Ali said, you are the summary of this nation for doing such a thing. This is another way of misguiding people. How people use religion, they take the good things in it, and then they add their own falsehoods, and they present it to the people. This is another way that people are misguided by these things. Friends, great concepts, ideals, lofty ideals have always been misconstrued and abused by politicians. Yes, when you look at, for example, ideals like peace, who doesn't want peace? Everyone loves peace. It's a beautiful thing. No matter who you are, what your background is, peace, man. Yeah, peace. And you would love peace. Or justice. Yes, we want to fight for justice and stand up for justice. Who doesn't like that? It's a beautiful ideal. Beautiful thing. Or, for example, civilization, being civilized, civility. How great is that? It is very attractive, appealing to all human beings. Civility is always appealing, being civilized. Safety and security, that's a very important ideal, a very important idea. attractive, appealing. People love it. And they get swayed by it also. Social justice, peacemakers. If you say that you are a peacemaker, they love you for it. Oh, a peacemaker. That is such a great thing to do. World peace. So all these things that I'm mentioning to you are lofty ideals. Ideals that have been put forward and given by Allah. These things that have been expressed and expounded by Quran and Prophet. All of these ideals are God-given ideals that Allah has given, and everyone recognizes that. When you see that these rights, or what we call inalienable rights, what are they? They're God-given. It's given by God for us, and these are rights that people are attracted by and they love. And these ideals are great. Allah speaks of it. We hold on to that. These are principles to live by, ideals to live our life by. All of these things, they are great. But you know what? These are the same things that politicians, sleazebag politicians, always use to misguide people. Yes, they come forward with these ideals and talk about justice, talk about peace, talk about safety and security and civilization and all of these things. And these ideals really look corrupted when coming from these people. You know, these people, when they speak of these things, justice is a great thing. But when it comes from these people, it doesn't look good. When they talk about it. When politicians talk about peace, it doesn't look good. Like, why are you talking about peace? Why are you talking about justice? Aren't you the ones that go around the world blowing up people and killing people? Why are you talking about peace for? How do you think peace is going to come about? How do you think justice is going to happen in the world? By killing everyone else? That's the sick idea. The sickness of the mind is that these people, they go out there and they kill people and they talk about peace. What peace are we talking about here? You want peace by just killing everyone else? That's not the idea. That's not the idea of peace and justice. That's an ideal or an idea that a diabolical villain in a movie has. To kill the population of the people so there could be peace. It's sick. And that's why when we look at these ideals, we need to see that ideals are great. But when we hear politicians talk about these things, that's when we need to have a question mark on it. Especially faith, religion. Faith is something that when a politician comes to you and talks about faith and religion, that's when you should have alarms going off and saying, wait a minute, why are you talking about this? Who are you to even talk about these things? You are the antithesis of divinity and God and godliness. Why are you talking about such things? And that's why when people, they come there, we need to see how they come, these politicians. Take the example of Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan, we know who he is, an enemy of Islam, always was there. At the end, had to convert to Islam because he had no other choice. So he converted to Islam. And then when he sees that Imam Ali has lost his power thing, so he takes over. He comes to Imam Ali and says, listen, I will offer you an army. I will offer you an army and I will help you to get back your right. It's terrible what they did to you. It's a horrible thing what has happened to you. It's your right. I've seen it with my own eyes that the Prophet and the Messenger, he's made you the leader and they took it from you. You tell me, Whenever you tell me, I will bring the people together on your side, and we will fight for you, and we will fight for your right. Abu Sufyan is offering help to Imam Ali to get back Imam Ali's right. Yes, Allah made him the Khalifa. Yes, Rasulullah made him the Wasi and a successor. And Abu Sufyan is saying, I want to install you in your rightful place. Subhanallah. What an offer. You could say, man, this guy has changed. You used to be an enemy of Islam, and now look at you. You're helping our Mawla. You're helping our Imam. You know what Imam Ali said? Imam Ali just looked at him and said, since when did you become sympathetic towards Islam? Since when did you care that you are making this offer? When did you start caring about Islam? You, the enemy of Prophet, enemy of Muslims. Why would I even trust you with this? With anything? No thanks for your offer, but why do you think that I would go for that? Really, this is what we need to ask these politicians who come to us. We get so attracted by these politicians that they give us some importance, and right away we are like, oh my goodness, he gave me an autograph. Yes, I shook his hands. Really, that's all it takes for us to just be swayed and convinced? If a politician comes to our masjid, we are like, oh my God, he came to our masjid. A politician, these sleazeback politicians who have nothing to do with God, the antithesis of God, and they come to us and we are swayed by such people. Imam Ali is saying, tell them, why would I take help from you? Of course not. It says, when did you become sympathetic? That's what they say. They go around everywhere and saying this. We are here to help you. We are here to help Muslim women gain their honor and dignity. No thanks. You're the one who took it away. When did you become so caring about women? Since when did you all become so caring about ideals? And that's why it's important to learn from Ahlulbayt how to recognize plots and schemes of these sleazebags who always come with these tricks towards us. And we need to take them like that. You know, there's a ayat in the Quran, it says, اتخذوا أيمانهم جنة فصدوا عن سبيل الله فلهم عذاب مهين. This ayat is regarding people who disguise themselves as Muslims, meaning that they are people. It's another plot that takes place, another scheme that happens. What is that scheme? The scheme is that you have people who have this sort of religiousness about them, and they make themselves look religious. They make themselves look very pious so that they can gain credibility amongst people. And once they gain credibility amongst people, then they can use that to fool them and misguide them. This is another plot that is used by politicians, and they use religion as a tool. Allah speaks about this. He says they make their oaths. Ayman means oaths and their commitments that they have made towards Allah. For example, faith and prayer and all these things. These are commitments, and they make their oaths to serve as a cover. So they turn away from Allah's way. They go away from Allah's way. They use it as a cover. It's not real. They just use it as a cover. اتخذوا أيمانهم جنة. Junnatan means like a shield. They take it as a shield to shield themselves from others, so others don't see their real selves. Others don't see inside of them. They pretend to be a Muslim. They pretend to be muttaqi. They pretend to pray a lot. You'll see such people who pray a lot. Yes, they cry in the masjid. Whenever you see, for example, someone really crying out loud, or when he has to pray, he has to let everyone know in the masjid that he is praying. You know, when you pray, when you say Takbiratul Ihram, Allahu Akbar, you should say it loudly so that at least the person next to you can hear. But no, they have to say it so loud that you don't need a speaker system. Allahu Akbar, and the whole masjid, everyone in the masjid knows that this person has started praying. Oh my goodness, he has started praying. Why are you doing that? What's the reason behind it? It's because this person wants to make himself known. And this is what we need to find about. Junnatan, interesting. Junnatan means shield. Majnoon. The word majnoon, which means an insane person, is also because of this reason, that it means that the aql, the intellect of a person has been shielded. There's a shield around it, that he can't use it. It's obscure and he can't use it. That's why it's called majnoon. He's called majnoon. Or, for example, Jannat. Interesting. Jannat also is from Junnat, which means shielded, meaning access to it is blocked. So in other words, Jannat is a gated community, with limited access only for exclusive people. That's what Jannat means. Jannat is a garden that is exclusive, that only you can go in there if you have permission and authority to go in there. That's what Jannat is, and that's what it's called, Jannat. Or, for example, Janeen is from the same word, Janeen. Sikte Janeen, ever heard that word? It means, for example, when a baby is dropped. Sikte Janeen. Janeen is when the baby is in the womb of the mother. And the reason it's called Janeen is because it is protected by the womb. It's shielded by the womb. That's why it's called Janeen. So, Allah uses that and says that they use faith in religion as a shield, to shield themselves from people so that people don't see their real selves. They actually don't believe, and they just make their own things. We are out of time here. I'm going to go more into this tomorrow, since we wanted to go through more of these. It's a very interesting subject and a sweet subject, and really interesting for us to learn. So I will end it right now because we are out of time. Tomorrow we will go into it. Second part coming tomorrow. Thank you.
وآخر الدعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Please recite a Surah Fatiha for your marhumin and the Shuhada of Islam.
بسم الله الرحمن